Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Charlie. On today's episode, I'm going to be showing you how to make my delicious oven-baked honey barbecue pork chops. Now, we first start by taking the pork chops. We clean them, we season, we marinate them, and from there we add them onto a baking pan and bake them in the oven until they're tender. Once the pork chops are tender, we coat them with a sweet and savory barbecue sauce, and from there we place it into the broiler part of our oven until the pork chops have that nice barbecue flavor. And after that, they're ready to be served. This recipe makes about 7 large to medium-sized pork chops, flavorful and absolutely delicious. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, here's all what you'll need to make your oven-baked barbecue pork chops. Let's get started with our ingredients. You'll need 4 pounds of rib end pork chops. And along with that, you will need some salted or unsalted butter, tomato paste, vinegar, molasses, honey, sugar, brown sugar, mesquite liquid smoke, hickory liquid smoke, and for your seasonings, you will need some salt, black pepper, Tony Chachere's Creole seasoning. Now, if you don't have this, you can use the Zatarain's Creole seasoning or the Slap Your Mama Cajun seasoning. You will also need some Chef Paul Prud'homme's Portrait Magic, granulated onion, and granulated garlic. And to bake your pork chops, you will need an 11 by 17 inch baking pan. Oh, and I forgot to mention that you're also going to need some aluminum foil. And there we have it. Alright, let's get straight to it. I've added my pork chops into this strainer. Next, I'm going to rinse the pork chops off with cold water. Alright, I've placed my pork chops onto these flexible chopping boards. Now, as for seasonings, you only need about 1/8 of a teaspoon of each seasoning. Okay, so I'm going to lightly sprinkle some salt, followed by some black pepper, Tony Chachere's Creole seasoning, Chef Paul Prud'homme's Portrait Magic, followed by some granulated onion, granulated garlic, a half a teaspoon of hickory liquid smoke, and a half a teaspoon of the mesquite liquid smoke. Take your fingers and rub the seasonings and the liquid smoke into the pork chops. And once you're done, you're going to flip the pork chops over. And again, we're going to add some seasoning. We're going to lightly sprinkle some salt, followed by the black pepper, Tony Chachere's Creole seasoning, Chef Paul Prud'homme's Portrait Magic, granulated onion, granulated garlic, a half a teaspoon of hickory liquid smoke, and a half a teaspoon of the mesquite liquid smoke onto the opposite side of the pork chops. And again, take your fingers and rub the seasonings and the liquid smoke onto the opposite side of each pork chop. Place the seasoned pork chops into a large or medium-sized bowl. Cover the bowl with a lid. Let this marinate for 4 hours or overnight. Alright, let's get started with making our honey barbecue sauce. So in this medium-sized glass bowl, add 6 ounces of tomato paste right on in there, 2 tablespoons of vinegar, a half a tablespoon of mesquite liquid smoke, a half a tablespoon of hickory liquid smoke, 2 tablespoons of molasses, 3 tablespoons of honey, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, a half a teaspoon of salt, and a half a teaspoon of Tony Chachere's Creole seasoning. Take a whisk and stir all the ingredients together until combined. Now when you first start off, you start off really slow. until everything starts to come together. Then, as everything starts to come together, increase the speed of the whisk. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Homemade honey barbecue sauce. It's just that simple. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and preheat my oven to 350 degrees. Okay, next we're going to take our marinated pork chops and we're going to add them into our baking pan. Make sure you make enough room so that way all the pork chops could fit in there. Here I have 2 tablespoons of cubed salted butter, and I'm going to take the salted butter cubes and I'm going to add some underneath the pork chops and around the baking pan. Now they are ready to be baked. Place this into a preheated 350 degree oven on the bottom rack. Bake this for 40 minutes. Alright, it's been about 40 minutes now for our pork chops. Let's go ahead and remove this out of the oven. Let this cool for 5 minutes. Alright, here I have a separate 11 by 17 inch baking pan. I'm going to take some aluminum foil and I'm going to line it inside of my baking pan. Take the cooked pork chops and add them into the baking pan. Set your oven broiler to high. Here we have our honey barbecue sauce with a pastry brush. You're going to brush or dab the barbecue sauce onto the pork chops. From there, you're going to flip the pork chops over and brush or dab the barbecue sauce onto the opposite side of the pork chops. Place the pork chops into the broiler part of your oven. Let this sit in there for about 1 to 2 minutes. Alright, it's been about 1 to 2 minutes now. From there, you're going to remove the pork chops from your oven broiler. From there, you're going to flip the pork chops over and brush or dab the honey barbecue sauce onto each pork chop. Place this into the broiler part of your oven and let this sit in there for about 1 to 2 minutes. Alright, it's been about 1 to 2 minutes now. We're going to remove the pork chops from the oven broiler. Let this cool for about 5 to 10 minutes before serving. Here is the final presentation. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Oven-baked honey barbecue pork chops. Made by a New Orleans native. If you like my channel, hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell button if you want to be notified of my videos. I have an official website for all of my recipes, including this one. Go to www.charliethecookandrews.com. You can also find me on Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter under the name Charlie the Cook Andrews. Stay tuned as Charlie's Taste Test is coming up next. Can't wait. Now it's time to go eat and take a bite. Here it is. The pork chop is nice and tender, well seasoned, and you have that sweet and savory flavor of the barbecue sauce. I mean, it is the absolutely perfect combination. Delicious. So, give the recipe a try. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, have a good one. Peace.